Did you see what happened then? I thought I'd be cool and start with, oh, hang on, I can do it. Oh, yeah, that's happening. Right, we're going to go back in. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. I fucked it. Hang on. This is just a little bit of, hang on. Hang on, pretend none of this happened. All right, we're good. We're still good. See you in a minute.
Send me for elastic, I'm fantastic. I got geometry, it's pretty drastic. Coochie tiger, where can I hide ya? Your roar's too loud, mate, they're gonna find ya. And aesthetic again. Yeah, you're looking pretty rough, son, your life's coming undone. Everywhere you go, you seem to know someone. I wanna change my life, mum, I don't know what's going on. I pick up all the pieces, fall, and then I drop them. And aesthetic again. And I am here now and then. 'Cause absence is everything. Yeah, and aesthetic. Yeah. Again. This is the next line, I wrote it when I felt fine. Now it's pointless, that's the effect of time. How did I get it there? Whisper it in my ear, I don't know myself, at least I ain't got my health. And aesthetic again. And I am here now and then. 'Cause absence is everything. And aesthetic, yeah. Again.
Right, hello. Now, can you see that? Can you see that? Worth having? Bit small, isn't it? I mean, maybe you can see it. One in the chat if you reckon we should keep it. I mean, Asmongold does it, doesn't he? And I always look at it and think it's too fast. Excuse me, too fast, too small. Well, we'll try it for a little. I mean, you can see them anyway, can't you? It's ridiculous. You can see them on YouTube. Don't make sense. We'll rid ourselves of those. Now, listen. This is gonna. This could literally and figuratively all come tumbling down. If the amount of masking tape, balancing, twine. And I've also had to move my fan, but my fan's over there now, which also puts the illusion could be broken. But I do want to really thank Packer, because if it weren't for Packer, I'd still be like living in 1989, streaming with whatever happens to be behind me. And I reckon, look, I knocked this up on Midjourney. First thing I just said, do a YouTuber's background. I said, put an AK-47 in, a skull, some books, and some other things. That's what I said. That's all I said. And give me that. So I will work on it a bit more, but let's see how it works when combined with he who motivated me to go up in style a little bit. Watch this, look. Yeah, man. Look at the YouTube on that. Look
That's some
at
lovely
it.
kit you got there in the background. Let's have a closer look.
Well, there you go.
Grab
Hang
that
on.
AK down and show us.
Hang on. Now look. Hang on. But like I said, Picard, that was like, I just knocked that up. First picture I knocked up. So I will work on it because I nearly called you. I nearly got hold of you to see if we could do it so that we could have a bit of colour coordination. But I thought, I think that works quite nice because I knew you were red and orange. You know, I knew you were on the red and orange side of the colour spectrum. So I thought, as long as I don't go green, because green is a complementary to red, which sounds weird, but it's tonally the same, but it gives you a bit of an optical buzz. So I went for more of a turquoise, I like to call it. I will change it though. I'm not sticking with that. It was, but yeah, look, like real YouTube. I don't know what to make of it, but people, don't be surprised in the slightest if it just goes bong and hits me on the head. And behind it, there's like 3 shrines. There's one for Buddha. There's one for a woman who looks after the house. My missus reckons she looks after the house. She gives her cigarettes, makeup, money, all sorts of stuff. Some of that money disappears occasionally, but apart from that, I think, you know. But she totally believes that this woman looks after the house and looks after her. It's beautiful. I'm so jealous that she believes it. You know, she set up this shrine to her. What a nice thing. What a lovely thing to believe in, to have that sort of faith in something. Because of the language barrier, it's hard because I'm like, but do you really believe it, or is it a faith thing? Because there's a difference there, isn't there? And she just goes, she look, you know, when I'm here, she used to live here on her own, and she'd say, it's better when I go to sleep at night to know that she's here looking after me. All right. I'm a bit worried about moving too far back as well. I think we're all right. Anyway, right, let's get the grifting out of the way. You got your Sunday night stream. You're very generous on Friday, so I thought it was only fair. I am shattered. I haven't sharted. I keep making that mistake, don't I? I'm shattered. I've also got to end before RAG starts, so we've got about an hour and a quarter, a push. Entropy, buy me a coffee, is at the top of the YouTube chat. The QR code that I'm about to put on above Packer's about to point that out. There you go. You wave your camera over that, it'll give you a link. That's quite a good one to use. You get your video reply from me. It's not automated. I have to go to the effort of going, hello. Now, so that's that. Entropy super chat down the bottom. I'll give you all your glory. No one gets left out. It's all lovely. So because it's so quick, I'll close that. I made a video today. I've made a video about the use of the mental illness. Apparently, that Dartford Labour councillor, Ricky, whatever his name is, who's talked about slitting throats. It was, you know, I'm into the whole mental illness racket. Well, they brought up in court that he was neurodivergent. And the defence agreed, and the prosecution agreed, and they instructed the jurors that it doesn't affect the outcome of the case. That's a bit naive, isn't it? I mean, it's so neurodivergency presupposes neurotypical. What? So you're different and the rest of us are the same. It's ridiculous. It's such its own nonsense feedback loop. So yeah, so we've told you that. We've had an expert come in to tell you that, but don't take it into account when you deliberated for 30 minutes. The judiciary is an absolute stinker. Right, let me get the comments shown live over here. We get some Spanish chicken. Pizzle is absolutely over the moon. I don't know if he's here tonight. I've heard, rumour has it, he's got himself a job. But he was absolutely over the moon, as expected. He was asking whether you're going to the Scrubs lifeboat and all that. And I told him, I said, "Oh, Spanish Chicken bought you a Scrubs brick," and his first question was, "Does Spanish Chicken come into the Scrubs lifeboat?" And I said, "Well, I've tried to at him and nothing come up, but yeah, he's made up." So that was
also Spanish Chicken. The fez doesn't fit; it's too small.
Oh, the fez does not fit. I think I'll give Barclay my fez. It was handmade based on Mussolini's fascists. It was beautiful fez though. It had like these like these little tassels that hang down. Beautiful, but I doubt Barclay wears it out. He hasn't quite got the bottle for that sort of eccentricity. But he does send me photos of him wearing, well, one suit I gave him. I think he probably took the others to a charity shop. I tell you what, someone walked into a charity shop and found a nice $3,500 bespoke suit. I got myself some cashew nuts. Should have to. The missus has gone to the province for a few days, so I'm not eating anything. Anyway, let's see if someone wants to come in. All right, because it's going to be a short stream, 10 minutes. Don't feel bad when I get shot of you, because we'll try and get some more on. Who are you calling a moron, you cheeky bastard? If it's particularly interesting, though, I'll, So there's a link. Anyone can come in, John Palmer. Who have we got here? Ams is on the phone. Lovely. Toffee's here. Hello, Toffoir. Ragnar Ironspear. I don't know if that is his real name. JP. Special K on Acid has had a change of avatar and name. Someone else mentioned something about this, that there's Google's making you change your names or something. I don't know. Maybe you chose to do it. Rags has got Sense and Communum on tonight. I don't know if he's told you that, but I spoke to him earlier to make sure I didn't tread on his streaming toes. Sheila sent you a message today asking, making sure you're all right. I sent it on the buy me a coffee because I think I didn't see you Friday, so I thought I'd just check in on you. Ludwig Ludders, how are you, mate? Humans is on the firm, lovely. Clippy movement. What am I a bit? Is it a bit like that, Pack? Are you noticing that, or is he talking to someone else? Apologies. I have got my VPN set to a virtual server in Mongolia. Not even joking. Listen, get a VPN. Just choose somewhere that no one would ever pay to advertise anything. Set it. You get no adverts on things like YouTube. It's amazing. Why would you? Oh, I found out something absolutely beautiful. Look at Toffee. No way. No way. What a treat and a surprise. You know what, Barks? I mean, you'll always be Barclay to me.
That's fine.
Oh, you prefer Kai, do you? Would you like me to call you Kai?
Call me whatever you like, as long as it's something nice and pleasant.
Wanker. No, so yesterday we played some young lad who plays the guitar, kind of sort of patriotic, semi-based. He's a semi-on of Patriots. And all he had in common with you was he was young. That was it. You could tell the age of the glorious House of Scrubs, because everyone was going, Barclay's hair's grown. I was thinking, what are you talking about? And then someone said, I never knew Barclay could play the guitar like that. And then I realised,
like whatever it was.
well, it was just he was young. Packer, you're muted, but that was it, wasn't it? That was the only similarity.
Roughly the same colour hair.
Oh, well, all right. Well, I have been.
I'll make people feel a bit old. When I first came on this show, I was 15, and I'm now 21.
21 years old, 21 today. See, Barclay, what is that background, man? Look, get with the program. Look at me and Packer. Look what's happened since you were last year. What's that, a bedroom? Jesus.
It's a living room, man. We got the piano and the map in the background, like the cultured Paul Joseph Watson background, basically.
Okay, so you've got a piano and that in the background, have you? All right. Well, let's just.
I haven't got an AN94 in the background, so it's not quite as glamorous as yours.
Hang on.
Stacked all over it.
What's happening?
What's all that crap stacked all over his piano?
Books.
Yeah.
Why
are you asking through me, Packer? Packer asked through me. He went, why am I half on the screen and half not? I think I like my background so much, I'm sort of showing it, but I really should just do that. Right, hang on a minute, people. I'm gonna zoom myself out a bit. Kai sounds weird. It's a great name though. Very, very cool name. But
Ocean.
All right, hang on. Have I got bigger or smaller?
Smaller.
Right, that'll do it. That's good, is it?
That's better, yeah.
Oh yeah, not so much though. It's a bit too much tit. I'm gonna have to lean forward now. But what's been going on then, Kai? Long time no see. You made a video. You racked up the views. Everyone was talking about it. What happened? You just sort of the adrenaline kicked in, and you've been dining out on that for the last 6 months, walking around your man and giving it the I'm a YouTuber. Is that what happened?
So I made a video on Bob Villain, the guy saying, "Oh, you want the country back? Oh, you can't have that," and STFU, very bold, brave stuff. So that one did quite well. That's my second most viewed video behind my Prevent one. If I put a bit more effort into recording that Prevent one, I think that could have had much higher views, but alas, I didn't do it because I was being a bit sloppy, which you shouldn't do. But oh well. Since then, I'm now an independent man. I don't represent any party anymore. I'm just myself.
Oh, you left. So that's the Homeland Party. Was your last affiliation, was it?
Yeah, I thought you were saying my last affair. Then you could call it affair, the Homeland Affair, maybe.
Oh, it's like some kind of Frederick Forsyth novel.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
I knew that when you said, yeah, exactly, because that's what I say.
I said it like that, knowing that you would know that I didn't say it to play into a further joke. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Don't try and triple bluff me, you little bastard.
Well, I did successfully triple bluff you, and you didn't counter it with a follow-up.
Yeah, but I've quadruple bluffed you because I knew that...
You haven't quadruple bluffed. You backed out first. You're the one who chickened out first.
Chickened out? What is this? Like a tribute act to 1970s playground? How have you been? What's the bird action? Let's cut to the chase. What's the bird action like? Speaking of which, is Glass in the chat? I'm putting that out to the chat. Right, look, I want to get a bit smaller. Have I got smaller now?
You're shrinking.
I tell you what, I am fucking not. I've been back on the weights for about the last 3 months after rehab nearly killed me.
Find you getting good sleep? I imagine your recovery could be quite good. Yeah, it's not what it used to be, mate. That's not much more than what I've got going on there.
Yeah, but I lost about 14 kilos. Did you end up in an ICU?
No, I've gained 14 kilos so far, funnily enough.
So did I, but only on the penis. Come on, what's been happening with the bird action?
With the bird action, it's nothing impressive, nothing glamorous. So there was someone who was 39 for a little while, and there's someone who wasn't. There you go.
Hang on, you had an older woman, like literally 39. My novel, I don't want to give too much away, but I just have. Go on.
There really isn't that much to it.
There is. Everyone Packer woke up. The old stream's like, what? 21, 39. I've done something similar, but not that big a difference when I was about 18. How did that go down? What caused it to start and what caused it to stop?
I did 1932. That's all.
1932. There you go. That's a bigger difference.
Mine was 1729. She was a catwalk model though, so cocaine addict.
Mine was a former Hare Krishna, so not one of those, I don't think.
So broken mentally, essentially. You took advantage of someone.
No, she's clearly got it. She's clearly got it all about her now mentally. So I wouldn't say that. A very intelligent woman. She just happened to be. She lived near a friend of mine across the country who had a wedding on. So I said, like, "Oh, can I stay with you? Can I sleep on your sofa?" And she also happened to be a Homeland Party member, so it was like part of like the network. So yeah, there you go.
Well, you just done that with your hands.
Yeah.
None
of that was going on. None of that was going on.
No, just do that. Just do that. Go on. Over your face like that, like I am. Good lad. Right. Hang on. So it was the Homeland affair then, in a way.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Did she show a more advanced understanding of the ways of the male and the female than you've previously encountered?
It didn't go that far.
Hang on a minute. Look at Packer's face. Everyone just thought, yeah, good lad.
Let down.
We were very disappointed, Barbara.
Well,
so how far did it go? What, you kissed her?
About that, yeah.
Oh, it's actually
Very
quite
sweet.
sweet. It's actually quite sweet.
So I'm not always
Painted like foie gras, and you went, yeah, I got this. Yeah, nah, there's girls my own age walking around prime.
I just take who's enjoyable to be around. Really, I don't really.
As if I haven't worked out that there's a slim chance she's watching now, so you're watching every fucking word.
I watch every word what I say on here, regardless, and I have done for a long time. It's one of the good things that Homeland drills into people. It's like, be very fucking careful what you say on the internet, because it can always come back. Always actually poke my hate is viewing.
I am only taking the piss, and it's lovely. That's what life's about for me. When I look back over my life, all those little sort of romances and just interesting things. It's lovely when you meet a lady and you just go a little bit further than your standard polite conversation, and they're interesting and they're exciting. And that's exactly what you should be doing. Don't get birdied off for fucking years.
Yeah, you've drilled that into me. I've sort of decided that it's like, I'll have kids when I'm ready to have kids. Probably in my late 20s, I'd like to think. And I know you'd probably say maybe be free for a bit longer, but I really do want to have kids. I've said it on here a few times, but I always I've just been really good at sort of taking care of like my family's kids and stuff. I like when all the parents like me and Bob, I'll go play football with them. I'm actually really good at football against 9-year-olds. To be fair, I sort of swept tackled my step niece on accident, which wasn't very good, but she didn't mind too much.
Did you see 15-year-old Max Dowman come on and play for the Arsenal first team?
I don't watch football.
That's why I got you to do that. Yeah. I knew you wouldn't know that you were supporting Arsenal.
Your scarf you gave me got stolen, by the way.
That's like 400 quid worth of scarf, you know.
Mate, I was not happy, mate. I was not happy. I was fucking furious. It was a really nice scarf. I've got a Barber one, but it's not the same. No,
of course. That one was replaced because another one got stolen. So check this out. I got a very similar scarf down. Beautiful, wasn't it? Just luxury.
It just felt nice. It felt nice. The new one I've got feels wrong because even if it's a Barber one, you'd think it, probably feels. It doesn't. It feels quite itchy and always artificial. Yeah.
No, that was cashmere. That one. I went into a little cafe in Soho, and as I took it off, the waitress said, "That's a nice scarf." And I said, feel it. And she was like, oh my gosh. And she was rubbing on her face and that. And then I left the cafe. It was only like 2 streets away from my house. When I got home, I thought, oh, fuck, I forgot my scarf. I rung them up. I said, did I leave my scarf there? And she said, yeah, it's here. So I've gone round there and it wasn't her. It was the manager. I said, oh, I left my scarf here. She said, no one's left their scarf here. I said, no, I have. I said, I just called up. And the bird, I said, she even rubbed it on her face. It became a you know, an object of conversation. And she looked like a bit frightened because she'd stolen it, right? And she didn't realise all of this had gone on. Then the waitress who actually talked to me about the scarf appeared, and she went, she said, I'll just go and get it. She's gone out the back, and she's come back, and she said, it's gone. I said, what? And you definitely saw it like a couple of minutes ago? She said, yeah, when you called, I had it in my hand. I just put it back on the shelf. So the manager swiped it. I rung up the head of that chain, and I said it's absolutely disgraceful. And she said, she really said, she said, I what do you want me to do? Replace it? I said, yeah, I think that is the right thing to do. And she said, well, I'm not gonna. I said, you know, I'm recording this call. And she hung up. But the bird I was with at the time was the head of loads of restaurant chains, and she said all of theirs would have replaced that or credited you, so it would have been like, you can get £300 worth of meals over the next 6 months from us at least, you know. So someone nicked it.
Yeah, I was on the train. I had like one of my usual like, big fancy outfits. I say one of my big fancy outfits. I had your hand-me-downs on basically. And I need to pop to the loo. So I say to this girl sitting across the table, oh, can you keep an eye out on my stuff, please? She was, you know, like nice, polite, quiet girl. While I'm on the loo, I hear like some giggling and I hear some tapping on the toilet door when I come out. Like I sort of noticed a little while later, I was like, it's fucking gone. And I asked the girl, and the girl had already gotten off the train. I don't think it was her who nicked it. Yeah, it's a shame. That's how we got it. I'm sure one day it will go on the list of things that I need to have replaced.
Did you have my initials on it somewhere?
Yeah.
That saddened me. I imagine it saddened you more because, like you say, you bought a Barber one, but
it's not the same.
Realised, no, terrible. Well, that's a shame. Right, so you are politically abandoned, or you're sort of politically solo in it.
Yeah, so solo now, I guess would be the best thing. I mean, it's probably the best for everyone involved, really, because maybe you could call me a wild card or a firebrand. I'm not always, I don't always, well, people don't always appreciate me representing them. So there you go.
Can you call yourself a firebrand? Is that allowed?
Not sure if I've been called a wild card many times. I don't suppose. Let's have a look at the definition of firebrand quickly. What does this mean? It means what I think it means, probably. The person is very passionate about a particular cause. That's true. Yeah.
I wasn't questioning the definition. It's just whether you know, it's like calling yourself a genius, isn't it? But I do that.
Yeah. We all like to think of ourselves as being a genius in one way or another.
I don't know what this means, but Toffee wants to know how many chippy meals. Am I treading into socially awkward waters there?
No, not for me at least. Probably more than he should. He needs to cut it out. He needs to lose weight. So I don't know. That was immature of me. Apologies. But then again, the Homeland Party did put out a mass email and a mass letter telling people, to every single member of the party and mailing list, they received an email saying that Kai Stevens is a very troubled young man. We thought was improving.
Wow.
Wasn't. Yeah, mate. It was proper like fucking bitchy. It was like all written with ChatGPT blatantly as well, full of spelling mistakes.
M dashes everywhere.
Yeah,
loves them, doesn't it?
Yeah, Homeland Party love using ChatGPT. It's what all their stuff is wrote by blatantly. It's so
There's
bad.
There's nothing wrong with using it, but
come on.
It does have a very apparent and obvious aesthetic. You need to get in there and chop about with it. It's only technology, but good Lord.
I'll try not to say anything that will incite drama. Not that I think anyone from Homeland, no one's watching this is going to bother grassing, and I don't really care if they do. I don't think too highly of the party's management. I don't care what they hear me saying. I've said a lot, but yeah, basically it ended up with party was just really going downhill really badly. I will say Homeland's still a fucking leagues above Britain First, UKIP, whatever other outfit. Homeland will always take the cake. quality of activists, quality of personnel is great. Management, not good. And after like months and months and months of trying to change the party from within, and all sorts of nasty little Machiavellian mind games being played on me by people on the leadership team and on everyone else in the party as well, all sorts of lies and slander being floated about. We wrote a letter with our complaints, basically saying that we need indication that the chairman will resign, and if we don't, we're going to leave. And then they fucking put out a big smear letter against us and everything we said, and just lied, saying that we'd forged signatures. We put people's membership numbers on the bloody thing so they could see who signed it, like regardless. But yeah, there you go.
Barclay, do you think that infighting is a thing of all political organisations?
Yes.
Or actually wider than that? It's kind of a thing of people, isn't it? It's almost unavoidable. But when you get real egos in there, I will let you speak, but when you get real egos in there, you need radical types to make these things work. You need motivated and devoted types. But almost by the nature of those kinds of people, they bring with them the word you've already used, baggage. So go on, explain your experiences of that.
Just in terms of baggage, anyone who's a nationalist and has been around for a little while is going to have some sort of baggage, like here and there. That's just completely unavoidable. They're going to have been seen in a photo, or they're going to have been friends with someone, so on and so forth. Right-wing people tend to be high in disagreeableness, evidently, and everyone thinks that. I find that there's so many people who think like, "Oh, I deserve to be the top dog. I should be the one leading this. I know better."
Okay.
And often they don't. People, nationalist leaders tend to have a really bad habit of overstaying their welcome. And you can see John Tyndall, who was the main chairman of the National Front. He then went on to form the BNP. He wound up being in a leadership position for like 35 years. Nick Griffin. Sorry.
Do you think this is a thing that happens just on the right, or
no? Oh, no. I mean, there's so much infighting that happens. There's the young, there's like the Young Revolutionary Communist Party and the Young Communist and the Youth Communist League, the Young Communist League. Both the reason why these two separate groups exist, despite being almost the exact same thing, is because of a fallout over an alleged SA or alleged R word, which had occurred. And also, but if you think about communist ideology or socialism, there are so many different branches: Leninism, Stalinism, Trotskyism, or Trotskyites, particularly many Trotskyites in the UK. So yeah, of course they're going to have infighting as well.
I don't know if you remember, I made a video years ago. I found some commie video about a bloke complaining that there was one of their chapters was forcing members to have sex with trans members, and their Marxist reading groups were turning into these sort of essentially forced
the American Communist Party, wasn't it?
Right, but at the beginning, he said it was something like, "I just want to make clear this is the Communist Party of America and not the American Communist Party," and it like exactly what you're just saying, which is also, I think there's a Monty Python thing like that, isn't there? Packer, you probably know that.
Yeah, the People's Revolutionary Guard of Judea or something like that. There is I've got
the People's Front, the People's Popular Front, or something.
There you go.
So I've just keyed for it. I've gone on a list of political parties in the UK on Wikipedia, and you've got the Communist League, Communist Party of Britain, Communist Party of Britain, Marxist-Leninist, Communist Party of Britain, Marxist-Leninist again. Is there any different? What's the difference here?
Yeah, let's check out some of this content. So this, I've never seen this. We'll just have a little look. This is the Young Communist League of Britain, CPUSA International Conference 2023. It's only 4 minutes. It's 5 minutes. We won't watch all of it, but I'm predicting phrases that I heard so many times in my early 20s. And I'm also predicting a very dull presentation, because they've got this incredible faith in the content, and they think that's all you need. They don't know anything about marketing. They don't know anything about selling the product, because to them that would mean that their ideology is a commodity and they will then become alienated from it. So they deliver it and it's so dry. Let's have a little look at this, and we'll only have a look at a little minute, but I think it'll be quite interesting. See how the young Communist League of Great Britain's getting on. And this he's got a T-shirt on. I don't know if you can see it. It's got mountains on it, and it says proletariat. If I saw that bloke walking down the road, I'd in my head I'd go communist. I just would know. He's got. I know it's a bit of
a lot of work. He looks like the Chud Wojak. He looks like you know the Chud Wojak meme.
I mean, but look at the sort of Russian, Soviet propaganda Chad in the back, like the muscle man with the chiseled jaw and all that. You can see that? I don't know if you can see it's probably not very big. Compared to him, is excellent. Let's see what he's got to say about himself.
I've got a funny story about
the League of Reason is honored to send greetings to our comrades in the Communist Party USA on the occasion of their international.
So the bloke doing the presentation from the Young Commies of Britain isn't British, which is, that's a good start, but never mind. They have they've subbed. They're so good. I love it when they subtitle people speaking English.
National Conference. Internationalism is one of the core principles of a socialist revolution, and it's in times like the ones we are living in now, with the escalation of the imperialist war and increasing hostility towards socialist.
And he's reading from a script, which is always engaging.
Countries, that this principle assumes even more value, and upholding it becomes even more important. When capitalism attacks our lives in the workplaces, workers form unions to fight back. When capitalism attacks our lives in our nations, then workers will form parties and other organizations to fight back. And when the capitalists bring entire countries to war with each other, then international solidarity among workers is how we fight back.
Right. Yeah,
I've got two stories about the YCL, and it's way more interesting than this guy. All right.
Yeah, he had nothing. He had absolutely nothing. It was an insomnia cure video. Go on, Barclay. Tell us your story.
All right. So story one, right? I'm not gonna name drop anyone for obvious reasons, right? First story. Someone in the YCL offered out my friend Billy, who was on here with me once a long time ago.
Hang on, whoa! What? So what's that? The Young Communist League?
Something like that, yeah.
And so we need a little bit of context. Where were you? What? He just walked up to you in the street and said, "You want to fight?"
So me and Billy, I got kicked out of my mum's house after the PA documentary back in 2022. Real ones will remember that. So I was living with him, and we started getting into beef with a guy who we'll call Martin, who I knew through a girl that I went to high school with, was my mate's ex-girlfriend, something like that. And yeah, which ones? Well, but she's involved in a later story, in the other story as well. Funnily enough, this is
no. I meant your mate's girlfriend.
Oh, your mate's girl. Yeah.
Sorry, Barclay, I will shut up. I'm gonna give you 3 whole minutes. Go.
So yeah, he starts. So the reason why they were beefing, right, is because it got exposed that some from the YCL who were going to call William, who was a child, he was like an Asian guy who I used to go to high school with. I used to be friends with him. We've gone down like divergent paths there quite radically. He used to pay us. No, it wasn't us. No, it wasn't him who paid to sit with me and my mates. Yeah, weird. We had a racket going on. So it got exposed that this guy was asking white girls to humiliate him for being Asian for some sort of like race play. Kink basically.
Hang on. Whoa! Say that again.
This guy from the YCL, this Asian guy, was Chinese. I think he was Chinese or Japanese. He basically was asking white girls to humiliate him for being Asian and having a small Asian willy.
That's what pressed his buttons, did it?
Yeah, that's what was pressing his buttons, right? Furthermore, from that, I think he thought this girl was going to expose him, so he tried jumping the gun and posting about it himself. So, oh, guys, this is the time where I exposed white girls being racist by getting her to humiliate me sexually for being Asian. It's like, mate, who is falling for that? Who is falling for that? Yeah. So my mate was taking the piss out of him for it, and then all of a sudden he starts like doxing Billy's like uncle for voting UKIP and stuff like that. So Billy offers him out for a fight, and I'm like, this guy was like, he was a young samurai. It was like Jackie Chan. He'd done like every martial art under the sun, but Billy probably weighs about twice as much of him because he was like a manlet Asian guy. He said like, oh, but you're gonna have to sign a contract, and also we're gonna have to have a med kit on standby. We're gonna have to record it. Just start this waffle to get out.
A pre-fight, all this. A contract and a like St. John's ambulance van there and all that.
Yeah, to have a fight on the street, basically, like a flat block with Jenny Lind. Because he said if the contract wasn't signed, he might get arrested because he had a fight when he was like 16, and it was just nonsense. Because I know what happened because I've ever seen the footage. It was like some guy just like sucker punched him in the back of his head when he was 16, and he floored him. But obviously, he was just making up complete nonsense. So yeah, that's the little bit there. There's not really much else to that story. Although I do often see him in YCL photos. Whenever I have a little stalk of their profiles, so I have a little chuckle to myself over that.
This is really, really boring stuff.
But we're about this. I don't think this is boring. This is law, mate. So moving on from that. So my mate's ex-girlfriend, right? Who I didn't really like that friend, so I did sniff around her a bit. We'll call her Julie. Julie, one day, she messages me and she's like, oh, yeah, they're having a party at my friend's house. I'm like, I've just been to the gym. I fucking stink of BO. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll come over. It's like, oh, it's funny because we've got Frankie and Leah, and Frankie's a nationalist and Leah's a communist. And I get to Leah's house, I knock on the door, and Leah answers, and Leah's actually got a penis. It was literally like a troon from the Young Communist League who does all the stalls and stuff like that. And they didn't know who I was, but we had a few little debates here and there. Meanwhile, we've got my friend Julie. She's got fucking big ones, mate. Big ones. And I did not try obscure the fact that I was staring at them constantly. I went out of my way to make it as obvious as possible because she enjoyed it. She was one of those. Proper dirty, saucy tart. A sticky one as well.
Whoa. How do you know a lady is one of those? How do you know?
Because she had slept with like 4 people that I knew. She had a body count of 21, and I'd heard stories. I was somewhat chasing the dragon. I don't think that's not the correct use of that. I was chasing the siren. I was answering the siren's call, literally because we spoke.
Okay, that'll do. That is better, I think. Crank it up a bit, mate.
So we were flirting a bit. Like we were standing out on top of like the porch, and she was like asking me for a cigarette. I was like, I was like putting it in her mouth to make her smoke it from my fingers. I was calling like a dirty bitch while she was doing it, and we kept trying to get the other people to like go like piss off and get mixer. Because we didn't like have any alcohol. I think it was at first I went with Leah for Troon to go get vodka, but we didn't get any mixer, so we sent Leah and Frankie off to go get the mixer, and then we're like,
fucking hell, Jesus! What pack? Have you any idea what he's talking about? Spanish Chicken said you looked suicidal, I think, or Toffee did.
There was a beef with some guy at the end of that story somewhere, but I'm not sure.
At the beginning, I think that was. And then there was a girl with big boobs. Right, I'll bring him back on. Let him, Barkley, I know you can hear me. Just take some breaths. Ludwig, look. Look at Barrett. Yeah. Everyone, Barkley, because you're not 16 anymore, no one's cutting you any slack. You've entered the adult world. You had it good. You had a good few years there, but too much foreplay is brilliant. Spanish Chicken's enjoying it. Right. let's get the youngster back on. Well, he ain't. He's a man. He has to, you have to play by the rules now, son.
I'll trim down the elements a bit and I'll make it a bit more swift.
But no one knows what you're talking about, though.
All right, so I'm at a tranny communist house who I didn't know was in the YCL. I didn't know they were going to be a tranny.
No. Don't. There's no point trying to tell us again. Just finish soon. That's all I'm asking.
We'll finish soon. All right, so so Leah and Frankie piss off and they leave me and Julie alone. We do. Well, how do they phrase it?
Those names.
Yeah, go on.
No, it wasn't the first time you heard it. It's because we weren't paying attention. Sorry, do I need to speak more? Anyway, yeah, we do the old in and out on this tranny's bed while we've got a USSR flag, a pride flag, and a trans pride flag above us. And then they sort of clocked on what happened after they got back because my face went bright red, as it often does for seconds, any moment of embarrassment.
It is now. You're looking a little bit rouged now.
It's the lighting. I've been out in the sun. Furthermore, from there, I started debating the tranny, and they were telling me that, so I was like, "What's your goals then politically?" It's like student who's in the Young Communist League, never worked a job ever. They're like, "Oh, we need to have a global, worldwide communist revolution where there's going to be no borders." And I was like, "Well, do you think Bosnians and Albanians are going to have open borders?" Like, well, they won't have a choice. That's like the communist mindset there settled in. But then beyond that, now every time I walk past the YCL doing their little stand, I always say hello, Leah, and they brace, they panic as if I'm going to attack him. So there you go. Some people might have got that story, maybe some people wouldn't have. But there were entertaining elements. So I think I should have just left at the first one about the racial humiliation.
That was that was the best bit.
That was the highlight. I should have told them in reverse.
I haven't got a clue what happened, really. I must admit, though, I have got quite a low tolerance for...
Well, you were a stand-up comic based on telling stories, Chris. So I imagine you have higher standards and higher skills in doing such things than I do.
Oh, it wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like that at all. It was... it's just the chat was being too funny. Young at heart, hilarious.
I didn't do any trannies, just to clarify.
No, that's not the joke he's making, though, is it? Right. Let's all just take a couple of seconds. So you've left. It's been a very challenging late teens for you, really, hasn't it? You've had a challenge. You've had court cases. You've had violence. You've had threats. You've had the old bill around your house. It's been quite the time.
Well, like you wouldn't even know. I mean, things.
Well, I do, 'cause you've told me, but it's now you're not affiliated. Are you going to have a rest from it all, or what? Because you seem endlessly motivated to do something about a country you love. I get that, and I respect it. I think everyone does. Admire you for that. But if you're not affiliated, unless you've got a platform, which is why I was, very impressed with your video. But if you're not affiliated, you lose your voice a little bit, don't you? You're doing a lot of leafleting and all that sort of thing.
I mean, generally, if I could have a choice, I would love to be doing activism. I was the branch organizer for Norfolk for Homeland, and I'm not bragging, but I built that branch up from nothing, and I absolutely that was the best thing I've ever done, is be the branch organizer for the party, because it was so great getting to meet new people, get people involved. People generally found to be quite I'm not saying this to teach my own. People find me very inspirational.
Right. I've just sussed it, and it's the old Barclay classic. It's the speed and cadence. That's the problem. It's very fast, man. Right. We're all old. I mean, it's probably among your age. You're all probably gabbing like that, and everyone's understanding. But there's a lot of words, and I'm having trouble processing this. This isn't a dig at you. This is a dig at me.
No, it's an accurate assessment.
It was very fast, talking very fast. What is that? Is that nerves, or is that
It's just
Do
what I
you
like.
talk? Yes, that's a great answer. That's a great answer, actually.
It's an accurate
But
one.
it might be something to consider, because when you're trying to communicate with people, I mean, everyone just stopped listening and was just laughing. And not at you, but definitely at you.
Yeah.
But we've
Well,
had
it's
this
what
on
it is.
here before. Yeah, look, JP wants you to join his acid party.
Sounds epic.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of the old LS. Right. So, what's next? What's the next chapter in your life? Are you making plans, or are you sort of winging it, or?
I have been making plans. I sort of expected things to end like this with Homeland, unfortunately. So we've been floating around ideas, say doing a sort of a few friends of mine. We want to be starting basically a news organization, something sort of akin to the Noticer. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, that's not good. I've had a stressful day. I've been smoking like a chimney. I will not lie to you. Still not
Still
really
on the
quit.
snout?
Yeah, I mostly have snus, but when I've got cigarettes available, I smoke them. Or if I'm busy, or I've got, social smoker, whatever.
You're off your nut, man. What are you fiddling with there that's going?
Oh, stop doing that.
You can do it. I didn't say you had to stop. I just was interested.
It's probably obtrusive to the flow of the stream, all right? But beyond that, I'm going to keep doing my YouTube channel, and I think in the next year or so, something else will come along. A new political party, which will hopefully have good quality people in it, who I could be happy to be part of and represent. Because I do still believe, even if the political solution is completely impossible, it's still worth going down that route, just because it will bring more people on board. And it's also it was a very positive a very important social element, which is of course good for one's mental health and mental well-being. And I think it's important.
How do you think things are going? Because we had a stream the other day with Dan on here, and I had a stream with Packer, obviously. And I've been bitten quite a few times with they're waking up, the English are waking up, this is it, and then they don't. And then it's happened again. There's all these protests going on, and it seems to be building up, and the Overton window has undoubtedly shifted a long way to the right. But do you think anything? Sorry, someone. Special K says start a Genesis tribute band. He's probably already got one. In a way, Special K, Genesis or a Genesis tribute band. Do you think we're on do you think England or the UK is on the cusp of some kind of radical change at the moment, or is it just the same old sort of?
I think things have certainly changed. When you just speak to people on the streets, people are far more radical. I'll take a bit of a test of this, right? So about 2 years ago or so, there was a protest outside the Brook Hotel in Norwich, and it had about 30 people turn up in support of it, about 400 Antifa. Now Antifa won't even turn up to counter-protest anything. And the Brook Hotel protest in Norwich getting hundreds of people there.
Because of the size of the protesters, the so-called far right, there's not enough Antifa to take them on.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's their morale has been completely killed, especially in Epping. Stand Up to Racism were just getting completely annihilated every time they turned up. They got put in like their own little sectioned off pen really far away from the protest last time, which is quite funny. The Epping protest as well has been successful, as the courts have ruled that the protest can be shut down by the councillors. Now the Home Office is trying to intervene. So it's forced the government to basically show their hand. Even Keir Starmer's trying to intervene on the Bell Hotel in Epping, which is my good friend Callum Barker, who was the organiser. We've been sort of working to organise it for months, and then a migrant did what a legal migrant does, what an illegal migrant does. Read into that what you will. 5 counts of it within like 2 weeks being off the dinghy.
The numbers are ridiculous, aren't they? They really are. I saw I think it was some kind of poster, and it just had some very simple numbers, and it was like, and it give you all the sources, and I just thought, Jesus, man, Just shocking.
Well, with the more of them that are here, the more people get.
See you later, Fat. Take care, mate. Sorry, Barclay.
It's all right, but the more people that are here, the more fatigued, let's say. People can experience the fatigue more. It's not like when it was in the 1970s with the National Front, where, you know, the National Front did really well in places like Leicester, which got absolutely rammed with migrants from East London. They're really popular as well. But now, because of the internet and the information technology days, everyone can see what Birmingham's like, and people just can't deny the problems. The ability to spread political messaging, it's just so vast and powerful. The cat is out of the bag now. Like I say, as things decline more, as the white population is declining, the political radicalization is going straight up. So I think there'll be a certain equilibrium point in the middle where we've still got enough English and British people left to vote for a right-wing party and for change.
Where did you get that political theory from?
That's my own.
Explain it. Slowly.
Slowly. Well, the belief in it is that there's a reason why, say, the National Front, for example, did really well, like I said, in Leicester, why Rupert Loan Reform did really well in Great Yarmouth. It's because these areas have been destroyed by mass migration. Just objectively, right. They have. Same as Burnley, for example. When Burnley became the BNP capital of Britain, they won 13 or 17 elections there. You know, not talking parish councils, district council, borough council. They had it all. They were the official opposition to Labour. That's because Burnley was an area that was hit really bad by racial tensions from large amounts of Bengali and Pakistani migrants coming over after World War II, who just formed their own ethnic enclaves, essentially. And there was high unemployment in the area because of deindustrialization as well, because that place was heavily dependent on the textile trade, and particularly cotton. So in many ways, the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution through the economic demand for cotton. There you go, cotton goods. But obviously, these areas have their problems. These areas have their problems isolated to them at the time. But now, as things have gotten worse, there's been much higher levels of mass migration, and people can go visit London and go visit Croydon and wherever. They can keep. The decline is just visible to everyone, basically. So that's where it comes from. Yeah. And it's only going to get worse as our demographics worsen. There
was a time when government propaganda machines like bullshit found in The Guardian, the BBC and all that, they could tell different stories. But when you step outside your front door and see it, when you get on public transport and see it, that has all fallen, and weirdly and conveniently and thankfully, COVID, I think, done us a massive favour for a loss of faith in the state and its ideological apparatus. I just wonder what the solutions will actually be. You know, this has been a long and well-considered project from the left, and they have integrated. They've integrated a globally. You know, England's like a giant airport terminal. Really, it's like, you know, and as Hugh said to me in when I went to see him in Vietnam on the Offensive channel. He said, "You know, how do you uncouple somewhere like England from not just the global culture, but does the global economy go with that, and what effects does that have for the English?" I know people are quite happy to say, "Well, I'd rather live on my little homestead and grow my own cabbages and that." And have my own homeland back. But a couple of years of that, I see people live like that out here. It's fucking hard work to live like that. And in a country like England with 4 seasons and winter and autumn and spring, I just wonder what would you like, Barclay? What would you call what would be a success for you?
If we're talking the late game, I'd like to see a 95+% British country, indigenous British country. In the process, that could make that happen.
Would that not mean deporting people who are born here?
Yeah, it would.
To where? To where?
To whatever their blood right native homeland would be. So,
but playing devil's advocate a little bit here, you might go up to two sort of 18-year-old girls whose parents are long dead, and say you've got to go back to Bangladesh, and you're going to lose your jobs that you've got here. I hope you've got a few quid saved.
Well, it wouldn't just be deporting people on random. I to sort of explain my process of what my personal policy of remigration would be if all illegal immigrants gone, anyone who's overstayed a visa gone, anyone who's hitched in on a student visa.
I get that, but that's not going to get you anywhere near 95%, is it?
No.
I mean, is it? Maybe it will. I'd assume it wouldn't. Though.
Well, one of my more bold positions is that if someone commits a crime, them and their family should be deported. I know it's a bit.
But that. Would a white native's family be punished if one of their family members committed a crime?
No, because I know it's a bit. Look, it's harsh. It's a radical position. No, it wouldn't be, and it wouldn't be dished out evenly, of course, because a native person wouldn't be deported to begin with.
Barclay, I just want to stop. I've been talking for an hour, and Barclay has cost me. I've had no donations.
You got Lady Godiva.
And 42, he's seen it. He's known what's happened, and he saved the day. And homesteading is akin to asking the government for an English. Yes. That's a great point. I mean, I also do. I understand the it's glamorized to an extent, but I see people doing it, and when they get ill, and there's no medical facilities for like 100 miles and all that sort of lark and things that happen. Nice one, 42. Barclay, don't take that the wrong way. You looked absolutely pissed when I said that. Thank you, 42. I also want to thank Jed. Jed dropped me a donation in Buy Me a Coffee the other day, and he's been recommending me some wicked movies as well. Dottie has also donated on Buy Me a Coffee. I asked, I just wanted to check in on her because she wasn't in on Friday, and as I was checking in on her, I sent her a video message saying, I thought while I'm here leaving messages, I'll see you, because we'd already had a little sort of back and forth. And I said, actually, this is a bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit like, where were you Friday? Once you've come, you've got to come to every stream. And she's just sent me one saying, once you come, you can't leave. Thank you, Dottie. That's very kind of you. Very kind. Barclay, so sorry to interrupt, mate. But
it's not something that is by some metrics fair, but it is a radical position for a radical problem. We shouldn't be in this position to be with. And I would rather it be that. But
do you think the other countries are going to say they're not? Let's assume we're talking about a Bangladeshi family, right? And only 2 of them, the parents, come from Bangladesh, and they've got 6 children. 1 of them broke the law, and you're going to go to the Bangladesh government and say, right, we're giving you 2 of your own back and 5 English citizens or British citizens, because in our country we changed it all so that when one of them breaks the law, we send them all home. Do you think any country is going to buy that?
Well, the UK is fortunately the 6th richest country on the planet, and we've got a wealth of economic resources. We can use many things as leverage, such as foreign investment, and I think that would be the main one. And we can also say, all right, well, if you're not going to do that, then we're going to block all work visas, all tourist visas. You're never going to have anyone step foot on British soil again.
The majority of that money is is with people who tend to do well out of globalist ideas. Are they really going to be using? Are they going to? You're talking about sort of trade sanctions from globalists.
Tax remittances as well. Forgot about that one. 90% tax remittance. That's the number I've got.
Yeah, remittances is insanity. We looked at it the other day. The amount of money that's sent out of this country every year, just leaving the British economy annually, it's ridiculous numbers.
Yeah, I'm
starting. It might be an age thing, not yours, mine. I mean, but I'm starting to think that there might have to be different solutions simply because of the involvement of the other nations. You know, when you try and start sending people back, if the other nation just says no, we ain't having them, do you honestly think that the government? So you're what would happen though when you say so you'll be looking at sending people back to many nations, and so when you say we're not going to trade with you unless you start taking people that aren't even from your country into your country, we're going to stop trade, but they're also going to stop trading with us, and we're one, but they're like 20 or 30 or 40.
I don't think it'd be a sweeping thing. There'll be some countries which play dice, so there'll be some countries that don't. But there's also the fact that there are many different parties all across Europe who, say, for example, well, actually, the AFD has cut and dropped remigration, so never mind. But the FPO supports remigration. Chega is a bit Civ-natty. That's a Portuguese party. They somewhat support remigration. You could easily ally with these countries and have just to start doing collective trade blocks and just say, all right, well, we won't import your goods now. If you got a country such as Bangladesh, which, if you go into Primark, almost every bit of clothing in there is made. I'm probably wearing trousers made in Bangladesh right now. And you start saying to people, well, you're not going to be able to you're going to lose an entire market base. It'll be very heavily financially incentivized to the government to take up the slack. You say, all right, well, we're going to imprison these people.
All right, I've got a response. I think John's making a joke about sending dead people home. I'm not, John, tell me if I've got that wrong, but I think that's what you're getting at. Thanks for the donation. But okay, maybe I've got that wrong. But it's the sort of thing you say. But what about China then, who would be against all of that, saying, hang on a minute, you can't be putting all these embargoes and sanctions on countries.
I don't think it would need to happen with China. I generally think that
I just mean China saying if you're going to impose sanctions on all these other nations for your ethnic political targets, they might start imposing similar sanctions on us.
I think generally China just goes for whatever brings them money. I don't think they're a very altruistic nation. They literally at the drop of a hat stop trading to Israel just because the Hui said if you do it we'll let your ships through, and that's literally all it took. The priority of the Chinese government is making sure that the Chinese government keeps going and making sure that China becomes as powerful and prosperous as possible. Well, powerful, maybe not prosperous for the average person. They've got a GDP per capita of 500 quid or dollars.
The English GDP, I think, went up. What was it this year? Something like 0.3, or it might have been 0.1% or something ridiculous. Have a look on ChatGPT or something.
GDP per capita in the UK is about 24,000.
No. Annual growth. Oh, I didn't do that. I wish I had, but I didn't. He's taken up the old stream, people. We're going to have to stop in a minute because Rags is streaming. But it's been a long time since we've seen Barclay, and
It was lovely. Jimmy, bought you a coffee.
every time I dig him out, I feel bad, so I let him speak for a bit more. James from Philadelphia has bought. He said, "For the grift, cheers, James. I'll send you a video later." And John Palmer's bought me 3, and he says, "Deport all nons, each non, including NW." Let me just get Barks back in. That weren't me, Barclay.
I just got disconnected randomly.
Let me just finish reading John's donation. Including all non-white Europeans can. John, what are you saying? They can stay on a case by case. What? John, I don't know what. I'll put it on the screen for. I'll put all the recent donations from Buy Me a Coffee, because you deserve your moment in the sun, and you lot can work out what old JP's trying to say. Maybe it's just me. I am rather tired. The missus has gone away, so I'm not eating. Well, I am, but just cakes. And and yeah, fucking lovely though. There's some cracking bakeries on this manor. But John said this. So thank you, Dottie. Thank you, Jimmy, and thank you, John. So there's those. But this is what John said. There you go. You can read that for yourself. Did Packer just yawn then?
No.
You didn't. Did you yawn, Kai?
Probably, but I've been. Oh, hello. Oh, sorry. I would pop up for some extension. And I've been up since like 4 in the morning, or like 3 in the morning or something. So I'm allowed to be tired.
You are. You can be tired whenever you want. No problem with that. I don't know. I just feel like it's sending people back to countries they didn't come from is going to be very difficult. Very difficult.
It'll be worth a struggle, because the alternative is that we're going to have, constant ethnic conflict in this country, and I don't want my kids to grow up in a country that's less them than it is now. It's already bad enough. Like even Norwich, historically.
But is there not a chance that it might be worse than that, because the whole world decides not to trade with us?
I don't think that would happen whatsoever. The UK market is an incredibly important one.
What happened to Germany and anyone who supported them in the Second World War?
But obviously, there was the international boycott of German goods that was heavily.
There was the 2 nuclear bombs on civilian targets in Japan. That was quite bad.
Oh, I thought we were talking about economics, but yeah, that as well. I don't think things will go to that level of sort of radical response to it.
But wouldn't the whole global community see England as like a neo-Nazi sort of? As we'd be called Nazis across the world.
They can call us what we like, but at the end of the day,
but then they stop trading with us. That's my point.
I don't think the entire world would stop trading with the UK, because it's one of the, probably in terms of like importing, the amount of goods we import, as we're mainly a service-based economy now. It would just be insane to think that people would stop, exporting goods to us. I don't think that would happen whatsoever. And even if they did,
slow down, because you're not letting me respond. Why wouldn't they do that? Would there be a lot of pressure from globalists? Let's crush these Nazis, because look at how they're treating people. I'm playing devil's advocate. I mean, look at what's happening in El Salvador. It's kind of interesting.
They've got a lot of good ideas in El Salvador.
I agree.
But because of how important nationalism is becoming, and as an ideology, it's absolutely just flying through the charts right now. I think that there would be mass scale if they did. If European countries or EU countries decide not to trade with the UK whatsoever, I think there'd be mass protests in support of us across these countries. There are also plenty of countries in the EU which have now got nationalist figures or have got, pretty much nationalist or heavily patriotic parties who are either in power or will be in power within the next 10 years. So I wouldn't worry about it. I'm sure between Germany with the AfD, though they've cucked a bit, and all these other nations, we would have the ability to produce all the goods in-house, at least within the sort of, we might call it the nationalist union of European nations. Mosey would have liked that.
Do you think we can lay our hands on the resources to make semiconductors and all things like that?
Obviously, semiconductors is a bit more difficult because I believe they're always entirely imported from Taiwan. I think America has like one semiconductor, like a lathe weight or something like that. Lathe machines. What? It's not. What? It's something like that. I think Taiwan would have to be a group that we'd have to keep very, special and tight with. If not, there's also Russia who produce semiconductors as well, and we can look to trading with them.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I think I used to be quite naive about the dream and this idea of returning it to. I believe in the nation state. I'm not a globalist at all, but the globalists aren't stupid, and they've really, we're tied up in knots. The world is tied up in knots intentionally, economically, culturally, and ideologically as well to an extent. And the amount of gyp El Salvador is getting just for putting its criminals in prison, let alone, sending aeroplanes full of people back to countries they weren't born in. That you're going to have, in terms of the political framing of it, it's going to take some fucking work, it's going to take some serious work. And then at the start of this stream, you talk about what's happened with the Homeland Party and what happened with these other organisations. And I mean, UKIP and like Reform is just a joke now, and they can't even sort out the basics. Are they really going to be able to convince the global economy that most young people see the world as that? Most young people don't see England as a white nation. I think they see it as just part of the global economy.
Unfortunately, well, I think that's becoming less so. Younger generations are becoming more and more nationalistic and patriotic. Yeah, but I'm sure there's a myriad of reasons for that. But that'd sort of be going off topic. I've also largely focused on the stick as opposed to the carrot, but there is a carrot element, if you're happy with me.
There is an argument to say that all the migrant hotels are a little bit of a sort of distraction in many ways. We don't want loads of we put a lot of these asylum seekers into these hotels. It costs us this much money. This happens to our village or town within the next 3 weeks, all these numbers, and everyone kicks off. I think it's a fucking long way from that to we're going to deport people and get the country back to a 95% ethnic white nation. I think that's a massive.
It's a step in the right direction. The Overton window has been shifting exponentially. Where we were before Southport and where we are now is completely different. And even a lot of like the mainstream sort of so-called centre-right people will secretly behind the scenes be chatting with people like Steve Laws, or certainly not in many cases, but in some cases be chatting with me. But the shift has already happened. I think nationalism has won the argument for the most part, and the argument will be performed by the migrants because all right. So when Reform starts getting rid of all the illegals, well, the other ones are still going to be here, and obviously, they're going to have some behavioural and cultural swaying from the environment that they've been raised in, being Britain. They're still at the end of the day going to be Pakistanis. Pakistan as a nation are like the worst for like women's safety index. It's just who they are. It's their biology. I personally believe.
Wouldn't it be easier to perhaps do something like scrap welfare?
I do believe in there being a welfare state. I know it's always going to be something to be abused. I think I think the wealth. Well, I'd say just deport people who are on welfare and foreign. To be honest, that's generally that's one of my answers for you there. I think scrapping welfare probably would do a lot of the work, but there'd also be a very large amount of British people who would suffer from it because it's not the same as Cambodia, where people seem to be, from what you've said, quite family oriented, where they're having multi-generational households, people look after each other. People in the UK hate their parents, right? People in the UK just do not get on well enough with their parents, their grandparents, and them to not have that sort of safety net. I think they'd be in trouble, and there'd be a lot of suffering because of it, which I wouldn't want to see.
I think I might be treading on Rags's toes. What time does Rags's stream start? Rags, are you here? 7, so about 16 minutes. All right. Kai, lovely to talk to you. But I feel I still didn't get an answer. So what is your next move? Or are you going to give yourself a little bit of time to consider it?
I'm going to give myself some time. I'm going to look into starting.
Have a rest. Have a rest. I mean, there's no... Listen. A rest might do you good. It might make your activism stronger because you've been full on for so long, and it might be time to be a young man for a while and not always have all that stuff on your shoulders. It doesn't mean you're not going to do it again. Just go on holiday or something. I'll tell you what, I spoke to Traitor Harry the other week.
Oh yeah,
it was probably a few months ago. Actually, it was quite sweet. Actually, it was quite sweet. He obviously took it in the humour it was meant. Well, listen, you had the whole show because it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and you're a lovely bloke. And you're not a kid anymore. I can't call you a kid. You're a bloke. You're 21. Oi, Spanish Chicken said, "You traitors, you got no flags in the background." And I nearly looked round to see if I had any.
Mrs. Me and it's just baited out our dogging meat. Bloody hell.
Whose voice do I keep hearing? Is that your Mrs. Packer?
It's my missus, yeah, telling me we've got to get a flag.
There you go. All right. Well, I only knocked this up on Mid-Journey tonight. So if you lot could see the mess I've had to make of when my missus gets back, she's going to go fucking mad. I don't like it, to be honest with you. It gives me a bit of the old OCD. Barclay, I'm going to let you go, mate. People, can you show Barclay Kai some love in the chat?
Thank you very much for
man.
Thank you very much for having me on. And I hope everyone has a good evening. Take care. Bye-bye. And I will have a break.
Yeah, just go and enjoy yourself. Go and find out a little bit about who you are rather than who everyone else is. Because I care about you.
I know.
And that's why I give you that advice.
I'm gonna I need to speak to you on Telegram if you get a chance, like after the stream. Just speak to you for a bit on that. I need to send you some.
It won't be after the stream. I was knackered before I started. Now I'm just.
I feel dead, mate. Tomorrow, sometime in the relatively near future.
Yeah, I'll check Telegram on Thursday or something. Look after yourself, Barclay. Ta-ta. Ta-ta. You know, I speak to him offline and that, not as much now as I used to, but he's been through so much. Like, he's been court cases, the gabbers around his house. Imagine what the relationship between him and his mother has been like. You know, there's no father. His old man died. I know what that feels like when you're young. And he's been doing all, you know, we knew he was doing all this when he was like 15 and all that. He was going on nationalist channels and talking about all this stuff. I just think if that was my child, I'd beg him to just have a rest, man. Just
Yeah.
You know, I do admire it as well. I do admire it. Imagine if all the youngsters were like that, we probably would get change.
It shouldn't be his whole being, though, should it?
That's I think that's what that's what I feel. Listen, people, I can't stamp on Rags's feet. I think we've got a few more minutes, but I'm shattered. Packer, I'll let you go, mate. There won't be a debriefing tonight. I'll probably do some writing, actually. Oh, anyone, well done, the Gooners. That was lovely. 5-0 yesterday. Wunderbar. And Packer, thanks again for upping the aesthetic bar on the streams.
Well, now we'll have to get some flags.
Yeah, well, my one might change every day. It depends.
That would be topic of the week. You could make it, you know.
I could actually, but that would mean having a topic, wouldn't it? And I can't maintain that kind of consistency. I could, by the time I've designed that, I'll be talking about something else, I'm sure. Yeah, that's it. Say something, Packer, while I quickly find a bit of music.
It's been an absolute pleasure as always. Barkley was a champion guest.
Yeah, he's great stuff. As soon as I saw him come on, I thought it'll probably just be Barkley's stream now. He hasn't been on for so long.
Yeah, he's
yeah, you can't go wrong with that one, can you? You can't go wrong with that one at all. All right, stop that. Packer, look after yourself, mate. Much appreciated.
Cheers, see you all later, Scrubs.
Ta-da. People give Packer some love in the chat. Rags, oh look, it's gone all wrong. What? Look, there, that's my crease. Why has that happened? Why has it done that to me? What an absolute stitch up. Spotlight layout. Press Shift and 4. No, that didn't work. Look at that. Look, absolutely. You can't look at that. That's my green screen. Why is a green screen oval? You know, no one knows the screen's never round like that. Oi, I love you all. Thank you for the 2 donations. 3, 4, 5 actually. Let me just check over there. And because JP chucked 3 in, it's actually 6. So that's very kind of you. I haven't really put a lot of effort into tonight because I'm knackered, but I thought I promised it on Friday, so I thought I'd do it. Here's a bit of music for you, people. I hope you enjoy. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy any streams that you choose to watch. Look after yourselves, and don't forget to tell the people that you love them. Here's a bit of music you might like. Ta-da!
All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. The joy of loving is to live in the world of man. There's someone who's waiting for you. Soon the world will be yours for a time. Music starts to play, night will turn to day. Darkness disappears when the one you love is near. You're in man. All the world loves the lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind. There's a place that is waiting for you, a world where the best in life is free, where time is always spring, happiness is king. The dreams you dream come true when the one you love loves you. You're in man.
Well, Bakar, your donation came up in time for the little middle-eight in song. Thank you very much, mate. The pleasure is all mine.
All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land, a man to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind.
Look at that, though. That's the problem. Look, that's ridiculous. Sorry about that. People are complaining I look like a toad. I've got to go. I'm so knackered. Thank you, everyone. John Palmer wants a stream on Wednesday. Now, the missus is away. She said 4 days. So you might get one every night if I've got the energy. But sometimes if I ain't got the energy, it ain't worth doing because I'm just like, nah. I mean, that's why I've done a call-in today. But it was nice to listen to Barkley. Nice to listen to Barkley, wasn't it? Look after yourselves, people. Right.